Wow, day 15. All right, here we go. The unit that never ends. Equation of a circle. Grab your graphing calculator right now. Go to y equals for me. Go to y equals. Type in 3x minus 6 into y1. Don't hit anything else. We're about to hit the graph button in a second. What's it going to show me on my graph? What's it going to show me? What's it going to show me? A line, isn't it? So if you hit graph, it's going to show me a line. Yeah, because all lines come in that form, doesn't it? All right, clear out y1. I'm hoping last year you did some of these. Let's do x squared minus 2x minus 3. Don't hit graph. Anybody know what that's going to be called when you see it? From last year in Algebra 1. What's it called, Via? Parabola. Yep, you can go ahead, graph. Remember those? It's called a parabola. It's a parabola because it comes in this form, x squared. Here's what I'm going to show you guys today. You can go ahead, clear out of it. We're done with the calculator for a second or two. Equation of a circle. All right, equation of a circle. It looks pretty involved, but it's not that intimidating, though. It's not that intimidating. X minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equals r squared. That's the basic equation of a circle. There's two parts I need you guys to be worried about. You're going to plug something in for h and k. There will be actual numbers there. X will be x, y will be y, but there'll actually be numbers in for h and k. Those numbers represent a coordinate. What those numbers represent is a coordinate to the center of the circle. All right, those numbers tell you what the center of the circle is. All right, so we'll see numbers plugged in, or we'll plug numbers in, and that represents the center. And then there's one other piece, which is r squared. What do you think that is? R. We're in the circle unit. That's the radius. So r is the radius. But I want you to be careful, though. The value you see there will be r squared. So if you see an 81 there, am I saying the radius length is 81? No, I'm saying r squared is 81. So how long would the radius be? Square root of 81, which is 9. Okay, so be careful. The number you see there is not the radius length. It's the radius length squared. All right, let's use it now. Let's use this formula. I give you the center in number 1a and the radius length. Write the equation of that circle. All right, write the equation of the circle. All right, here we go. So first parenthesis. X. What's your x coordinate of the center? X coordinate of the center is 3, right? Isn't it? 3? So 3 is your h value. So it's going to read x minus 3. See how I put the 3 in there? Because that's the x coordinate of the center, your h value. Squared plus, what do you think is going to happen inside this one now? Y. Now what's your k value? What's the k value? Negative 3. So when I plug it in here, what am I going to write now? Not y minus 3, but y. Everyone's seeing where the plus is coming from, because I'm putting in a minus negative 3, which turns into positive 3. Squared. I'm not putting 6 there. I need to put what there? The radius squared. So what number do I want to put there? I don't want to put 6 there, because that's not the radius length squared. What number do I want to put there? 16? 6 squared. Yep, 36. There's your first circle equation. And good news. Stop. We're done. We're done. I know many of you see, this right here. Maybe you got to do that. You're thinking doing this off to the side. No, we're done. That's the circle equation right there. That's it. Hands off. We're good. Plug in the center and the radius. You're good. Any questions on that first one we did? All right, here we go. Now, can you do it based on a graph for me? Can you write the equation based on a graph? All right, what's the center? You guys can find that on the graph. What's the center of this circle? 17, what's the center here? No 17?
H.
Okay, but no, the actual center, numbers on this graph. What's the coordinate of the center there? This center right here, Aiden. What's that in the coordinate there on the graph?
2.
Over and up, how many? Like, is it, if it's 1, 6,
okay.
3, 2, what is it?
1, 3.
1, 3. So the center's 1, 3. Got it. Now let's use the formula. X, what's going to be in your first parenthesis? X minus plus, give me a number with it. 15. Thoughts here? X?
X minus 3.
Well, that's your y coordinate. We're on the x coordinate now. X minus 1, all squared. Everyone see where I'm plugging this in and where I'm getting it from? Plus y. Go ahead, help me fill that one in. 18.
Minus 3.
Minus 3, yep. Squared equals your radius length squared. So what number am I going to put here now? Radius length squared. Let's go 17.
4.
4. 2 squared. There you go. There's the equation of that circle on the graph. And that's it. Don't touch it. We're done. Anything I can answer? So far, so good? All right, no problems here. Center 0, negative 2. Length of radical 20. Ooh, radical 26. All right. I gave you the center. Let's plug it in. What's the first parenthesis going to look like? 1. George, what's the first parenthesis going to look like? X.
X minus 0.
Yep. All squared. Plus. Ooh, what about your second parenthesis? Be careful there. What's the second parenthesis going to look like? 2. Good. Y plus. Everyone knows. See why it's plus 2. Y minus a negative 2 becomes plus 2. Ooh, what's going to be on the right side now? The radius squared. You've got to do it in your calculator. Do it in the calculator. You're squaring the radius. What number is going to go on the right now? 4. Right out of 4? Oh, thank you. We're just going to have an awkward stare at each other. 10?
26.
Yeah. And hey, if you're wondering where Josh got the 26 from, he took the radius, square root of 26, and squared it. You get 26. All right, one thing before we go on to the next one. Highly unlikely you're ever going to see this in your textbook or on a test or quiz. They're going to simplify this. X minus 0 is just what? X and then squared. So you're not going to see this. You'll probably see just this. So if I just see x squared by itself, that means that coordinate must have been 0. If I see y squared by itself, that must have meant that coordinate is also 0. Okay, they'll simplify it. They won't leave it x minus 0. They'll just write x squared. All right, so just a heads up there, everyone. If you just see it by itself, that means that coordinate was 0. All righty? And I think I got one more. Write the equation for you. All right, so my center's at negative 3, negative 2. There's my center. And it goes through 1, negative 2. So the actual circle goes through 1, negative 2. So if you guys who have your compass with you, if not, you could certainly just freehand it. It's not a big deal. Put your compass point on the center, pencil point on where it goes through, and for the first time this year, probably what you've been waiting for since the beginning, you get to do a full circle all the way around. Great job. Hey, way to go. All right, I need the equation of that circle now. You already know what the center is, so help me with the parentheses here. What's in the first parenthesis? What's going to go in the first parenthesis for this equation? 11. X plus 3, all squared. Always plus in between the parentheses. What's going in the second parenthesis now? 14.
Y plus 2.
All squared. All right, I didn't give you the radius here, but could you find it now on the graph on your own? If you can count, you can find it. All right, that's why I gave you the point it went through. Right there. How far is it away from the center? And make sure we square it, because I need r squared here. What do you got for me? 11. What should go on the right here? 16. Where'd 16 come from? What's the radius length? 4. And then square it. Can I give you a little different scenario here? We won't do it, but I want to talk through how you would do it. Look, I made it easy on you with the radius, didn't I? Count the darn thing. What happens if you couldn't count it? And let's say the point, leave that there. Let's say that point wasn't there. Okay, there's my circle. Let's say the point was right here. All right, my point was right here, and I still need to know what's the length of that radius, but you can't count it. What do I have to rely on, Scott? Distance formula. Okay, everyone good? All right, so if you can't count it, you still need to find it so you can square it, use the distance formula. All right, and use the center and that point in the distance formula if that happens to you. All right? Whew. All right. You want to go backwards now? I'll give you the equation. You give me the center and radius now. Going backwards. And then I'll show you how to graph it. All right, there's the equation of a circle. First thing, before we even sniff graphing it, you got to be able to tell me what the center and radius is so I can graph it. All right, can we go backwards? Can we? Can we go backwards? What must have been the center with that equation there? What's my center? 16. Center of that circle? 2, good. -1, yep. 2, -1. Think about plugging it back in. It would have been -2 and +1, good. And radius, I see a 36 there. That's not the radius, is it? What's the actual radius length? 9? 6. Again, r squared is 36. So r, the radius, is 6. Good work. And now you can graph it. So you graph your center first. 2, -1. And what can I do to find some points on the circle? I know the radius is 6. What can I do with that 6 to find a couple points on the circle? What do you suggest I do with that 6, the radius length? Romeo?
Go 6 away.
Up, down, left, right, doesn't matter. Okay? Up 6, down 6, right 6, left 6. Yep. And then grab your compass if you have one. If not, just freehand it today. Line up. End point on the center. Pencil point on a circle. Point on the circle. And there you go. Have some. Be crazy, kids. Whew. I'm going to give you a little breather here because you're about to get knocked out cold here on these last 2. Any questions? Yeah. All right. You're ready. What don't you like about it? Well, what's the problem? Right off the bat. And does it look anything like what we've been working with today? It's not in this parenthesis form, right? Everyone agrees? It's not in that form. So I have no idea how to find the center and radius, nor do you guys. I need it in this form to be able to find center and radius. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to transform it. We're going to convert this into the form we started with today. And to do this, you're going to need something from Algebra 1 last year, which I don't even know if you did or not, with the whole half home, half in school. Does the term completing the square ring a bell at all? Boy. Completing the square. Well, I'm going to obviously have to, yes. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this. Everyone sees our goal. Take this, make it look like that. That's what we're going to do. All right. And we're going to do it by a process called completing the square. First step, make sure the single number's on the other side. Are we good? Single number. If it's not, you better move it over first. All right. Or we're going to have to do that next. So keep that in mind. Make sure the single number's on the other side. We're good. Rewrite the equation so you have the x's all together and the y's all together for me. All right, so let's rewrite this so the x's are all together and the y's are all together. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared. What am I going to put with it now? Minus 8x plus y squared. And what am I going to put with that? Plus 2y. And I'm going to keep that number there the entire time. All right, let's complete the square. We're going to do it twice. We're going to do this process once for the x's, and we're going to do it once for the y's. All right, I'm going to go slow as possible here. Raise your hand, say, can you go over that again if we have to? All right, so let's do it for the x's. X squared minus 8x. We are going to find a number together that we're going to add to the x's. How do you find this magic number we're going to add to the x's? And maybe now this will start ringing the bell. I don't know. We have an a and a b value right now, don't we? We have an a and a b. You take half the b value. What's the b value up here, by the way? -8. So don't yell out anything. In your mind right now, take half of -8 and square it. You take half your b value and square it. Take half your b value, square it. Everyone have that number in your head? What is that number? That is the number you add to the x's, 16. Remember, I said we're going to do it twice? Now we do it for the y's. Plus y squared plus 2y plus this new c value that I'll get by taking half the b. Do it in your head or on your calculator. Half the b, and then square that number. So take a look, take half your b value, and now square it. What number do you have in your mind right now? 1? Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So that's the number I'm going to add with the y's. Equals, what do I still have over here? Negative. All right, there's an issue though. There's an issue. In step 1, you guys were like this. And then you did this in step 2, and now you're like this. And this isn't like I'm a little teapot type deal here. Okay, I'm not going to stand here forever. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You were like this in step 1, and then you pulled this 16 and 1 on the left side, and now I'm like this. You're unbalanced. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. So what do I have to add to the right side as well? What did you add to the left? Add 16 and 1. Whatever, you got to keep it balanced. All right, so real quickly on the right side, what are we left with after I combine all those numbers? I'm left with? Oh, 9. Okay. All right. You ready for the next step? So half your b-value squared on both of them. Oh, you're not going to like this next step because you need to factor both now. All right, factor both. Think of it. Ready? Here we go. Your x's. Two numbers that multiply to what? 16, but they have to add to -8. Think about that in your mind. Two numbers that multiply to 16, but add to -8. Everybody got them? What is it? -4 and? So ready? I won't have you write this. So this is how you would factor it, right? -4, -4. Can you clean that up? Write it a little more creatively. X minus 4 all. We're getting, aren't we? Oh. Okay. We're getting there now. We're starting to look like our famous circle equation from today. Plus, factor the y's. Two numbers that multiply to 1, but add to 2. What's that going to look like? Y. Two numbers that multiply to 1, but add to 2. Y plus 1 and? You want to write that a little more creatively. Look what we have right now on our hands. And I'm going to tell you, when you factor, those numbers should be the same every time, or we did something wrong. All right, those numbers should be the exact same so we can write squared. All right, here you go. We're done. Center time. What's the center now? Center of this circle. Let's roll. 8, center.
4, -1.
+4, -1 is their center. And how about your radius length here now? Radius length? Talk to me. 10, radius length? 3. Whew. 4, -1 is the center. And then I can go up, down, left, right, 3 units. We okay? We got 10 more minutes here. Good, perfect timing for one more of these. Because certainly one doesn't make us great here. Anything here about completing the square you want to review before we go to the next one? Because I'll start calling on you guys now. All right, here we go. First step, get the single number over, which it's not this time. So what do I have to move over? 40, and group the x's and the y's together. Okay, so everyone go ahead, rewrite the entire thing with the x's and y's together and the 40 booted over the other side. All right, let's start completing the square twice. So first, find a c value to add to the x and the y's. Find a c value to add. And remember, how do we find the c value? Take half your b value squared. So start with the x's first. Take half your b value and square it. What number are you going to add on to the x's? What number are you going to add on to the x's? 18?
16.
Good. Half of 8, which is 4. 4 squared. We're adding on 16 as my C value. All right, do the same thing for the y's. You got this. What number am I going to add to the y's? And it's always addition because you got to square it. So it's always addition. What's my C value for the y's now? 4. Thank you. Ooh, 12. Good. Half of negative 14 is negative 7. Negative 7 squared. Positive 49. I'm going to drill this into your head because this is believe it or not, as complicated as this is what kids forget. Add to the right side what you just added to the left. Negative 40, got to add the 16, got to add the 49. Whatever you add to the left, maybe not. Add to the right. So what am I getting on the right there? What is that nice number? 25. Ooh, perfect. Literally. Never mind. No more math jokes. All right, ready to factor. 2 numbers that multiply to 16 but add to 8. 4 and 4. Those numbers better be the same, you're telling me here. So x plus 4 all squared. 2 numbers that multiply to 49 but add to negative 14. Y minus 7, y minus 7, right? Anybody see, I might as well talk about it. You guys are above average. Anybody seeing a pattern about these numbers here and the b value? Scott? Yeah, these numbers here are always half the b value. So if you don't even want to factor, just take half the b value and plop them in here. You're good. All right, center, radius. Graph, get out of here. Center. 6, center. Good work. Radius length. Gave you that nice number, 15. I got 25 here. That's the radius squared. 5. And graph. You got 3 of these tonight as far as completing the square goes, so a lot of practice. Compass, a must tomorrow in class because we're doing actual constructions with circles. And a straight edge if you have one. I got a bunch of straight edges if you need them. Questions? Okay, also it does say you don't have to graph tonight. It'll say graph the circle, you don't have to. Just find the center and radius. All right, no need to graph tonight. Whew, good work.